Hey, here I am again. Hello, this is April, and it's time for the Astro Oracle reading for this month. Now, basically, I'm looking at themes, and this is to add to your personal experience of the month. So you're going to get 3 cards, basically, and that's what's going to be personal to you that you can add to the concepts that I talked about week by week, right? And when I gave you that full energy forecast. So now what we're going to look at is all the zodiac signs. So if you are, say, Aries sun, that's the first thing you're going to look at is what I said about Aries. Let's say you are a Cancer rising, then you look at that, and then you look at your moon. So we're going sun, ascendant, and moon. And if you don't know those things, go to astro.com and you can put all your information in there and they'll just give it to you for free. Okay, so let's get going. Now we're looking at Aries. So Aries, like, what is this month? You are in Aries. Like, we're in Aries season right now. This is your time. And so we're still using my Guides of the Hidden Realms, brand new Oracle card deck. All the art is mine. Took me almost 2 years. Anyway, okay. So this one is called The Masks We Wear. It's about your authentic self, but also about the different masks that all of us wear. So this is this card. So I'm going to look it up, and it's card number 33. So I'm just going to give you the general gist of this. So for Aries, the main theme for you is about your being authentic. So as human beings, we express many distinctive identities throughout our life. You put on different masks, which are impermanent and interchangeable because your self-expression and perception of yourself evolves. I'll hold this up. New masks emerge as you need them, as your awareness and inspirations require them. They help you present yourself to others in the way you intend, but you have no control of the filters through which others perceive you. Cherish those relationships where you don't feel the need to don a rigid mask, or you can change and be who you are. Right now, your sights on the future require you to don a new mask and become the person. The question is, who do I need to become to live this future vision? So really, this is about Aries contemplating their becoming. So who do I need to become in order to have this dream, the dream of my life, which is the first week's energy, which is the co-creative energy? Like, who am I dreaming into being? So that's the question for Aries, and that's the invitation for the energy for Aries. Now let's look at Taurus. Taurus is Epiphanies Sing at Dawn. It's card number 7 in this deck. I painted these little birdies. I'm sorry, but not all the cards have little creatures, but I love little creatures. So they just called to be painted. What can I tell you? So, okay, Epiphany Sing at Dawn. Now, that is for the Taurus personality. And this is going to be a beautiful wake up for you. And it's card number 7. I'll give you the gist of this one. So, and that's if you have sun, rising, or moon in Taurus. The way of understanding is not always direct. After struggling with something a while, sometimes you just have to let it go. Not easy for Taurus, but then when you stop trying to figure it out intellectually, an epiphany delivers you from your confusion. Inspiration flows, and you suddenly have the exact understanding that you need to move forward with meaning and purpose. So it says here also to do things. So it's actually quite a long thing, but you have to get the deck for the longer version of this. But bottom line is, for Taurus, this is a fantastic month for you to really get and to really just pay attention to chop wood, carry water, because that's implied in here, that when you take your attention and your eyes away from the thing that you want to create, it just happens. It just comes to you, like when you're in a shower, when you're driving the car, or when you're gardening, right? That kind of thing. So that's really the implication here. Dawn is a beginning. You wake up in the morning and it's like, kaboom, now you have it. So that's for Taurus. Now let's take a look at Gemini. I'm shouting out to my dear friend, Deborah Silverman. Woo! So Gemini, treasures in the deep and dark. So this was, I think, the 3rd painting that I did also. She came through so clearly. Anyhow, so this is this card. So sometimes you can play in shallow waters and discover something valuable, right? But now's not the time. So this is asking Geminis to go deep. not to stay shallow, not to stay in the surface, not to stay in the fun. It's asking us to go, asking Geminis anyway, to go deeper. Find the real treasure you seek in the diving deep down, facing the shadowy places in you that were long forgotten and denied. So it's an opportunity for shadow work to find the treasure for Geminis. Something reflected in your life now echoes your past. Be brave. This is a call to healing. Know that those wounds won't define you. The past doesn't define your future. When you dive into the depths of your psyche and accept this and find the treasure, find the beauty, there's no need to deny any part of yourself again. So for Geminis, this is really a wake-up call to be invited to go beyond the shallow, beyond the chitter chatter, the talking, and into that self-reflection. And interesting because there's a lot of energy this month as well. We are in Aries moving into Taurus. So it's that sense of there's lots to do, but truthfully, you won't get it done. The stuff you really want is going to come from the deeper piece. And don't be afraid to look, because that's only good things will come. Now, Cancers, which is me. Ooh, okay. So every word has power. We have to watch our words. The original painting of this is actually 5 feet tall. There's a video on social on this one. Reminds me of a cat. The eyes. It's like really, anyway. Okay, so every word has power is the card. Words provide a meaningful container. This is for Cancerians, for our thoughts, intentions, and overall energy. Every word we say, whether aloud or silently, resonates with an influential frequency, sending out a signal that connects with its counterpart in the material world. How we communicate is reflected by the infinite intelligence within the surrounding field of energy and the people who are influenced or impacted by what we say. Right now, you've got a lot of power, and your words will either support someone or catapult them to chaos. Be mindful how you approach others and be as neutral as possible. You're not responsible for other people's triggers, but use discernment and compassion as you communicate. Listen, we all right now, I think all of us, not just Cancers, need to watch our words, because everybody is hypersensitive. And what we want is to have connection and less division. So sometimes our words, we have to watch what we say. My dad used to always say, think before you speak, because I have a tendency to blurt things out, right? And that's all the fire in my chart. But I'm very mindful these days about being compassionate and kind to everybody. So that's a good reminder. Same thing with you write. Like, what are you writing? Are you being mindful of as many, people as possible that you could influence in a really positive way, or you could hurt them without even knowing that. So now, again, we're not responsible. We are responsible and accountable in what we say. But again, like if somebody triggers me, that's up to me to take care of my own triggers. So that's also that secondary thing, is that don't let somebody else's say mean that much to you either. I think it's really important, especially on social media, when you have people commenting and saying all kinds of crap. Don't take it personally if you can. Just somebody sitting there unhappy. Okay, Leo, let's look. Oh, Leo, a way out of the weeds. This guide came to me. Yeah, this was really hard to paint because it was, this particular vision was translucent, but I did okay. So anyway, here is this being a way out of the weeds. And that means that Leos, if you're stuck at all, you're gonna get unstuck. That's the good news. The good news is unstuckness. Some days you feel confused and stuck, like you're in a marsh, lost in the weeds. There's no way out in sight. You can't break free of the predicament. Struggling and pushing doesn't work. It makes it worse. It won't get you anywhere. You must do the opposite of what you want to do. Relax instead. Can you remember your partnership with Spirit and ask for divine help? Pray for clarity and the weeds to part, and they will. If you could actually stand up and see from a higher perspective, you'd notice things you missed while struggling down in the weeds. This is a time for big picture to place your attention on. It's the big picture thinking, and all this minutia and overly detailed, stuckness will dissipate, which is great. Now let's take a look at Virgo. What guide of the hidden realms wants to speak to the Virgo personality? I wish you guys could see this in person because, so it's called In the Midst of the Radiant Fire. So let's read this for card number 31 for Virgo. So inspiration is one of the most profound gifts from your higher power that you'll ever receive. It's like being handed a magic acorn containing the blueprint for an extraordinary oak tree of meaning, adventure, transformation, and fulfillment. Your only job is to accept it, plant it, and tend to it in your field of dream. Trust in the divine fire that burns in your heart and pay attention to the prompts from source. That still small voice will never let you down. Just know that you were chosen for this unique path. So this is really great for creativity, for Virgos to get, out of themselves and be creative and surrender to your inspiration, because it is a gift. And that's why it's called In the Midst of the Radiant Fire, because it's like lighting a match. But we are that. We are the fire, we are the match. And source burns through us into the world with divine light. And that's for that. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at Libra. Let's see, Libra. Whoopsie. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise. That's this one for Libra. So Libra you are in a very interesting place. It's a very abundant place. It's about fulfillment and understanding what fulfills you. You have to ask yourself, what does fulfill me as we dream the world into being? Like, what makes me happy? Like, what is it? It's time to remember how to play and have some fun. So this is for Libra. Your life is an ever unfolding adventure, not something you're meant to control and plan and nitpick. When you wake up each morning, say to the divine, surprise me and mean it. Isn't that cool? Sometimes the task at hand calls for you to become a blank page. Ask spirit to write your story. The way you live your life is the love story that you give back. Okay, so that is, and again, there's lots more in there, but that's really the whole theme for Libras. You're a relational sign. This is also about kind of at this stage now saying, like, when's the last time I had fun? And to really become a little bit more lighthearted. And so creativity is a really great access point, recognizing that not everything is going to come into harmony just because we want it like that. So it's the acceptance of things as they are and trusting that life on life's terms, as well as being powerful co-creators, they commingle, both and. And so as you work hard on making the world a better place, and really wanting to see that harmony and justice in the world, I think what's really key is to also remember that, there has to be time for you to release, be playful, be creative, and find that playful spirit within you, that child inside you is what this is. Okay. That's it for that. So let's see, Scorpio. Oh, also a way out of the weeds. So Scorpio has this card as well. This is the second one. So this is about, I'm going to give it a different interpretation because Scorpios and Leos are very different. One is a fire sign, and it's very, it's about generosity. It's about, bringing something to the world, where Scorpio is that creative, deep creative personality that is, that, like, my girlfriend is Scorpio, and she like studies everything, and she's like has the best social media channel, and she's like, always giving us things to think about. And that's what this is, right? It may be that you, the Scorpio personality, is actually going through your own weediness to reflect back to us that this is the way out of the weeds, I think that's really important. So Scorpios, as long as you remember that the big picture is the most important one, doesn't matter what anybody else says or experiences or trying to hold you back as you evolve, because you are the one that goes deepest into the weeds and brings back the greatest treasure. That's for Scorpio. Now let's look at, I'm shuffling these cards, so let's do them again. I have them all in a big, I keep going like this. So let's pick another one for Sagittarius. Okay, connection through the cosmos. And that is for Sagittarius. I hope I didn't skip anybody. Anyway, you'll tell me. You always do. Okay, connection to the cosmos, card number 29. And this is about needing each other, right? So Sag always looks for the highest truth, the greatest truth. The world is a giant mirror that reflects who we are, where we're placing our attention. Oopsie, I'll throw this up. Where our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are churning inside us, with or without our awareness. Somehow we meet that person, read that passage in a book, or hear that song that gives an intimate glimpse into our depths. All these connections resonate like strings in a giant harp, and the right note reminds us that everything is connected, even if we can't see it or grasp it with our mind. And this reflection underlies the law of reciprocity, where you broadcast into the field of infinite intelligence, echoes back, and often materializes in some fashion. Beautiful and unexpected, seemingly unrelated gifts are coming your way. This is also reminding us that when we seek the highest truth, like when we are looking for what is the greatest learning, how do we see that highest spiritual truth? It will be shown to us. It's because we are connected to everything. And particularly for Sagittarius, it is your nature to look for that highest truth with big capital T. And this tells you that this is that kind of month where you see that reflected. You're really going to get that. Now let's look at Capricorn. Capricorn. Let's see. I'm going to pull this around. Boom, 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 boom. The truth source of power. I call this my Khaleesi card. If you were to see this in real life, it's what you see is not hair. It's actually energy that is very sparkly on the actual painting. Anyhow, so the true source of power. So we're looking at Capricorn and our true source of power. So Capricorn can become very earthbound and very ambitious, even though it's the sign that wants to go to the top of the mountain and experience the highest spiritual context, right? So, and sometimes has the biggest hill to climb, right? But when true power is expressed, let me put this up here. It's beautiful to experience. It's not an act of self-will, but a channeling of divine will, where you are fully in service to a higher calling. It's a true surrender, a self-forgetting with access to the transformative power to make such an extraordinary change. There's a profound and simple prayer that illustrates this. Thy will be done through me. Relieve me of the bondage of self so that I may better do thy will. I surrender my will to thine. Use me as thou wilt. Amen. It reminds us that we are all here because the universe needs to experience life through us. Trust in the invisible world and remember that your personal efforts and what you see in the material world are not the source of your supply. Now we're going to do Aquarius. Ripe, juicy, and ready. Aquarius. Can you sense it, Aquarius? You're poised for success. You've come so far and have everything it takes to succeed and manifest your most heartfelt desires. Yeah, it's taken a long time to get here. You decoded the patterns of your past and worked on unhealed wounds. Oopsie, sorry. Unhealed wounds, and to become ready for the experience. The want of it isn't enough. You must transform from the one who lacks it to the one who has it, even before it actually happens. Trust you are ready for a truly rewarding experience that is meant for you. It's that juicy experience that you're calling into form, and spirit works through you. This is like, she was kind of like a plum when I painted her. Yeah. This was in the beginning when I painted with a gold leaf pen. That's my, yeah, crazy. Pisces is next. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, because I was so paranoid to show people my paintings. Then it's like, too late, they're cards now. Here we go, Pisces. Pisces, 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 Pisces. Oh, treasures deep and dark. So Pisces is also meant to go into a deeper experience with people. So you have just gone through your own season. We're in Aries in this month of April and then going into Taurus. And this is saying whatever it is that you've been through, it's time for you to go a little deeper into your spiritual work, into your self-reflection, into whatever it is that you need to do to get to that space where you are at peace, inside you, at peace with the world, even though the world is not at peace. It's like you have to find some way to be that center of the storm, and being that eye that can observe without participating until you know what is your true value, or also, is what I am going to present valuable to anyone, and what is true for me. So this is also about really getting to your own authentic place in you and recognizing that you cannot escape. There's no escape from you at all. So if there's anything in there that's kind of niggling at you, like, the princess and the pea, you go to sleep and you're like, oh yeah, something's bothering me. Go look at it. It's really a good time for you to do that, because only treasures await in the treasures deep and dark. There you go. All right, everybody, that was it. That was a long one. So hope you enjoyed this. So remember, we had that first, April reading. Here again, if you're a triple Scorpio, just look at Scorpio. If you are a double something and one other, you just look at the two different signs. Give yourself time to kind of see how it works too, because it takes a minute for this stuff to actually make sense. Half the time, what we think it means in the beginning of the month means something else at the end. But I always like to keep a journal of these readings as well too. Anyway, this deck is called Guides of the Hidden Realms. It is populated by my own art. I hope, and all painted with holy water as well, from Lourdes, from Glastonbury, from Peru, and from a church in Santa Fe. So I do hope that if they call to you, that you would consider adding them to your collection. Bless you all. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Get ready